Today on the channel, we work on our flexibility with the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, Major Bendies, Series 3.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Major Bendies unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we've got the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, Major Bendies, Series 3 of Gangrel, Effie, Chelsea Green, and Colt Cabana. And you can pick these up at MajorPodMerch.com. You can pick up the whole set as of right now, of filming at least. And of course, they've had a lot of figures over the last year in the Major Bendies line, and they've done a very good job filling a gap in the marketplace. And I, of course, have talked about it on the channel here. I was not a Bendies guy back in the day. I was all in on the Hasbros, very disappointed. Of course, Bendies kind of came next, and it just was not for me. Then we got the Bone Crunchers. So that little white space in between there was not for me, but there's a lot of people, usually younger than me, that were all in on the Bendies line. And I understand it. You like what you like, you don't what you don't. But it's very smart of the Major Pod team to jump in with the Bendies line because people are doing the uncensored line, the Dynamite Kid that's like the Mattel Elite. Of course, you got Super 7, you got Power Town, you got all the retro companies. Every inch of the way things are being done, for the most part, outside of LJN's, everything is being done, and I guess LJN's kind of with the AEW line. Who knows the future viability of that product from them? We'll see what happens there. But the Bendies was a missing hole, and Matt and Brian and Kinnick, of course, over there, they were Bendies fans back in the day. So they saw a gap in the marketplace like any good businessman would do, and they jumped in on the Major Pod Bendies. So a very smart move. Now, it seems to be resonating with the fan base. There's a lot of people being completionists. Of course, their wrestling status does help with this out there. But it is an interesting take on wrestling figures. And one thing I actually like about these is they're not as bendy as a old school bendy. And they weren't the most bendy in the world. But I like that these are really more like an action figure bendy hybrid. And I like that a little bit more than the traditional bendies of old. And of course, we're going to dive into these. We're going to talk about each one. And we're going to do it like we always do it here on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And let's start it off. Let's go one by one through these sets here. And we got to always go ladies first. That's always the rule here on the channel. So we're going to start off with old Chelsea Green. And I believe there is a Chase rare edition of this Chelsea Green for you completionists out there. But very, very cool. I believe this is the first female Major Bendy as well, so that is very fitting. Of course, Chelsea now a member of the WWE roster. It seems, I believe the Raw roster, if I'm not mistaken. But very cool, and I love the packaging uniformity they got going with this line. I hope they keep everything kind of in the same headspace there, packaging style, all that kind of stuff. It does look really good. It definitely does pop. You got Chelsea Green at the top up there, Major Wrestling Figure Podcast logo. Big bubble window, perfect for autographs, things like that. A little starburst in the back. And then on the back of the package, you got a little old school cross sell going on. You got a card right there that looks really nice. And of course, some of the other stuff. MajorWFPod.com, Major Pod Network, bendable, posable, collectible, listen now, plug in the podcast, always be promoting. I like that a whole lot. Major Bendies, things like that. You do get a card separate, which I do like. Of course, old school Bendums, you had to cut this off. They do give you the card separately. Chelsea Green got a little autograph on the back, looking really, really nice. And the really cool thing about these, of course, that we talked about before is you just slide the back out, slide the bubble out, and bam, just like that, there is the figure. You can put it back in, safekeeping. You can reseal these. It is good because you can take them out, put them back in, but that is also bad that you can take them out, put them back in, because figure swappers, they could have this, playing with this, who knows, all the germs on it, put it back. Oh yeah, never been out of the package. Well, is that true or not? I'm not sure. But I am saving the package. I am keeping these on card. See you later. Off to the side. But we get Chelsea Green in the female department. Of course, back in the day, what did we get? Sunny. We got Sable as Bendums. Just because I didn't collect Bendums didn't mean I didn't have a huge collection. I think maybe the very first That's So Hard to Say Goodbye on the channel was me getting rid of my Bendum collection. Go back, check out that video. But I did get rid of all those. As any collector, over time, you just amass things, and that's what I had done. I had amassed these. But we got Chelsea here out of the package. Of course, being a Bendum always looks a little bit like the character. You close your eyes, you kind of squint a little bit. Oh, okay, there it is. But it's a little bit more cartoony. This isn't Mattel Ultimate Edition, for example, here. But it does look really good, and I think it gets the point across very well. The yellow-black attack with the white polka dots, kind of studs there going on, really nice. The black boots, of course. And then you even get the autograph on the back of the figure, which is a really nice touch to the old Bendies of old. Of course, no peg holes in the bottom, so they're not going to stand on a stand or anything. Now, these are Bend'ems, but they're not truly bendable. You do get some bending going on there, but it is a little bit tougher than a traditional Bend'em. They're not going to really hold a pose. They will slowly go back. But like I said, I like that. I like that they're a little bit more statue, a little bit more statue action figure-esque than just a traditional bendy like a Gumby toy or something like that. I think that works better, and it does look really good on display, and it stands without a stand even. So Chelsea Green, not too bad right there. Of course, like I said, there is a variant edition. If you want to track it down, be a completionist, get all the versions, you can get that. But I think this is a very good one. It'll be interesting what female Bend'ems they'll have in the future. I would think like Taya Valkyrie could be one. Who knows? There are really unlimited options out there as far as the independents, people they could sign for this line. And speaking of independent wrestlers, one of the all-time greats in the independent scene, of course, Ring of Honor now, I believe, technically AEW, old Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana, seen him many times over the years. Of course, me being a Midwest guy, him being a Midwest guy, I have been to a ton of shows that he's been a part of. A lot of funny times with Colt Cabana over the years. And a jewel of the indies over the years as well. But very similar to the Chelsea Green packaging, as you can see. A lot of the same things going on. On the back, you got the big cross-sell, all the fun stuff there, looking really good with Colt Cabana. I love the card here, and I love that they give us the card separate. Once again, you just move it out of the way, and it just plugs kind of out. I love that you can remove these, and at the same time, it's a little interesting that you can remove these from the package. If I can, who knows? This one's stuck a little bit at the top. I'll get it. I always do. I'll get it. You want to bend the card, though. That's the key. You don't want to bend that card. But there it is. There's old Colt Cabana. Going to stick him off to the side. The old see you later. A little plastic prison for Colt Cabana. And boom, 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 we're out of the package right there. Colt Cabana looking good. Got the big open mouth. Very Colt Cabana-esque, of course. You can just hear the music going on. You got boom, boom, Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana on both sides of the singlet. Got the nice black and gray singlet. Once again, you get the autograph on the back of the figure. Love that. Got a big hulking out pose here. A lot less bendable than Chelsea Green was, of course. You get the front and back. You get a little Bend'ems there. But I don't know if a lot of kids are playing with these. That's the other thing there, where the Bend'ems of old really were for children out there. These are more of an adult collectible at this time. This is a little bit of a nostalgia kick for other collectors that collected maybe the old ones back in the day, or brand new fans. It's just a piece of merchandise the Major Pod crew can sell and, you know, always be selling, as they always say. Looking good. Now, Colt is not going to stand on his own, I have a feeling. He's going to be a little tougher. He is very, very top-heavy, so he might be a little tougher to stand, but that's just the way it's going to go. But like I said, I'm keeping mine in the package there. Now we move on over to GCW wrestler Effie, and out of all these characters here, I think he's probably the least known of the bunch, I would have to say. Of course, we do remember Matt Cardona's feud with him in GCW, and even Chelsea Green getting involved with Alley Catch, things like that. It'll be interesting to see where Effie's career goes. Is he a GCW lifer? Will he always be there? Will he be the Tommy Dreamer of GCW? Who knows? We'll see what his future does behold here, but a very nice one. I like the jacket sculpted in. Once again, very similar packaging, Major Pod logo. You get his little glamour shot up there in the corner there, very cool. And then on the back, you get the card, you get the cross-sell, all that kind of stuff. He, of course, wrestled Cardona, then had a quick feud with Double J Jeff Jarrett. That was a very interesting one. And then, of course, fizzled out when Jarrett went back to the WWE, which was a little bit unfortunate. I mean, it made sense. You got to follow the money, as we always do say. There he is in plastic prison. But it'll be interesting to see where Effie goes from here in GCW, as GCW keeps growing, it seems, year by year. But we get Effie here, and if you're familiar with Effie, it looks like him. You got the beard, you got the blonde hair, you got the black headband. What I really like on this one is the jacket, the studded spiked jacket in pink. Really, really does pop. He's got the fishnet, of course, pant legs going on. You got the knee pads, the black boots. It does say Effie on the front, Daddy on the back. There it is. And then he does got nail polish in pink going on there as well. Much like Colt Cabana, not a lot of movement out of him, of course, but I do like the ribbed feel here of the jacket. Really, really does fit really nice. And him and Colt Cabana about the same size. Effie just a hair taller than Colt Cabana. You can kind of see these guys side by side. They can kind of help each other stand up, which is really, really nice as well. But Effie is going to be the one a little bit deeper cut here, I would say, out of this Series 3 here. But it does look really good. If you know who Effie is, it actually looks like Effie. I think I could tell if somebody handed me this without saying who it is, I would say, oh, that's Effie. And same thing for all of these, honestly. Well, I can read Colt Cabana on his singlet, but you guys know what I mean. But these do, as far as cartoon look of the Bendies, they look really, really good there. And then, of course, we did get a card with Effie on it. You got his autograph on the back, like we've been seeing with all these here. Now we're going to finish it up with the main event here. And Gangrel, a guy who hasn't got a lot of figures over the years. We've got Bone Crunchers. I think he might even had a Micro Brawler. Very recently, Figure Collections released a retro-style figure. Now we got the Major Bendies coming in very hot. And we got a 2-for-1 as we got the Bloody Chase variant. I love a variant. I love a chase. And I think a bloody version of Gangrel makes a lot of sense. So we do got those going on here. Of course, same figure. The only difference is going to be the blood on these guys. But we do get a little Gangrel action in the top corner. Major Pod logo in the other corner. Starburst in the background. And very cool looking Gangrel right there. On the back, got a very interesting card look on Gangrel. It's like he's almost giving a crotch shot or he's framing out his crotch. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. Same backing we've seen before with the other ones. The cross-sell at the top. I love the old school look of that cross-sell as well. Just very, very cool looking. And I'm going to get Gangrel out of the package. Going to flip that corner piece up. Slide that out. Slide out the plastic prison. Put him over to the side. There it is. And bam, out of the package. And we've got Mr. Gangrel, and we're off to the races here. Once again, you got the autograph on the back, a hallmark of this line. He does have his tongue sticking out. I'm not a huge fan of the tongue out on figures, but a guy like Gangrel works for me, especially the bloody version. He does got the tongue piercing there. He's got his ear piercings in. He's got his glasses. He's got his necklace. He's got his Seinfeld puffy shirt. He's just playing all the hits right here as far as Gangrel goes. Looking really, really good. Nice white paint color to it. Nice black pants. Got the buckles on the belts and the studs on the boots here. Looking really, really nice. Like I said, he's got the autograph on the back. But Gangrel, a little bit of a renaissance, man. It's time to get more Gangrel figures, and I hope we get an Elite-style figure sooner rather than later. But I can see a lot of fans wanting this one, of course, as Gangrel really had a renaissance in the last few years. He's been on some shows. He's been a part of the major podcast live shows, I believe, maybe even their FWF matches. I think he was a part of one of those, if I'm not mistaken. Not too shabby with old Gangrel here. But a little hard to stand, as you guys do know. But if you're into Bendies, I think you're going to be into these, of course. If you have a soft spot for Bendies of old, you got to love this because nobody is servicing you in the action figure market. This is your only chance. You go back, get those old LJNs, you get those old Galoob Bendies, you get the WWF Bendies at the time, and then the Major Pod Bendies, and that's pretty much going to be your collection as far as Bendies go. And it's a fairly easy line to collect. There's a lot of variants, a lot of different figures, chases, rare editions, store exclusives, things like that. But if you're only collecting Bendies, that's a pretty manageable job, I think. But I know there is a lot of completionists that are picking these up that love the podcast, things like that, and that makes a lot of sense. But I'm anxious to see who they're going to have in the future. Of course, they got a lot of connections in the wrestling industry. They're not going to step on toes as far as legalities go, but a very, very cool idea. And like I said, the best part about this to me is we unbox a ton of different kind of wrestling lines, wrestling style figures, action figures in general here on the channel. This is fitting a market that is not being catered to, and the major podcasts are filling that hole for good or bad, depending what you're looking for there. But I think it makes a lot of sense, and I'm going to champion on them in the future, and I hope they have continued success out there with this line. So there it is. There's Major Pod Bendems Series 3. What are your thoughts on these? Where do you sit on Bendies back in the day? Where do you sit on this line? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. As you guys know, we got videos every single day. And then some. Yes, and then some. And we got even more content for you over on the old Patreon channel. Link in the description below. Tons of bonus content over there for all you guys if you're into that kind of thing and you want to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget to follow along and hit me up on social media. SirPaul64 on Twitter. Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for the Major Bendies Series 3, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.